Welcome to another episode of Spirit of an Athlete. I'm your host, Amanda Smith, and on this episode, I invited Jana Barrett from New Zealand to join me and give us a little information around using the woman's menstrual cycle, or lack thereof when you get into menopause, to work out and what that should look like. We also talked about being a fierce feminine warrior using the mace and club bells. Jana is a strength and conditioning coach, a tack fit instructor, and also my favorite part, a mobility alchemist. Using club bells, you can do a lot of work around strength and mobility combined, and I absolutely love this modality. But then, of course, I'm a yogi, so I also love hearing mobility tied into strength and conditioning. So enjoy this episode with Jana. Jana, thank you so unbelievably much for joining me here on Spirit of an Athlete and sharing your wisdom and all that you have learned for yourself and for your clients.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Amanda. Such a pleasure.
Yes. Okay, so right away, Jana, you come from New Zealand.
Mhm.
Where in New Zealand are you at?
I'm in the capital, Wellington.
Ah,
Mm.
Okay, so when we did our pre call, you had this glorious picture of, and it wasn't even a picture, it was happening real time. It was the window behind you, and the sun was rising over the bay.
Mm. Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I am very lucky, although it's just after 6 in the morning in the middle of winter almost. So it's pitch black outside, so you can't see it today. But yeah, I'm so lucky. I live near the ocean. I live on the Wellington Harbour Head. So yeah, New Zealand is it's a spectacular country.
Now, okay, are you a surfer?
I am a surfer. Yes.
Um, oh, this is something that I am so unbelievable. Like, I love surfing.
Mm.
If I lived near an ocean, I would definitely be surfing all the time. How often do you get out?
As much as I can. So I'm fortunate because, I have reasonably flexible profession because I'm an online coach. So unless I've got clients or face-to-face clients, I am at my local break. And then most weekends I will be found somewhere around Wellington within a 4-hour radius, surfing some break with a whole bunch of awesome women that I'm so fortunate to have in my life.
Do you surf in the wintertime?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I tell you, it's getting cold. I went out yesterday and it's 5 mil wetsuit now, pretty much. Yeah, it's cold. It gets cold. Yeah. I only know the temperature in Celsius is 12, but it's cold. It's definitely cold.
Yeah,
Keeps the crowds down. So it's good. And we get the best swell in winter.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh, oh, so jealous. So jealous.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jana, who do you work with?
I work with women mostly over 50. And the women that come to me for help are usually very active, semi-professional athletes, former athletes. I coach marathon runners, martial artists, competitive powerlifters, lots of really quite incredible, accomplished women. But what happens to them usually just when they hit their late 40s or 50s, they realize that something in their training needs to change. So they either broken, burnt out, or bored by their training. They usually fall into one of these three categories. So I help them switch or transition into exercise that is more suited to their bodies, but without missing out on the thrill, the challenge, and the joy that they used to get out of their training, in their 20s or 30s.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I'm thinking about, like, how has my training evolved? So I was, hardcore athlete in high school, junior high, elementary school, and college. And I mean, that was every day of the week,
Mm.
every day on the weekends. I was probably moving my body like somewhere between 6 to 8 hours on average. And then when I left college, I took a break. My body was like, "Woman, chill."
Mm.
And so that break looked like me doing nothing, and then when I came back to working out again, I went straight into P90X. Do you know what that is?
No. Sounds intriguing.
Okay. P90X with Tony Horton. Uh, little plug right there. So Beachbody is the company that it falls under, and you can now get a Beachbody certification and all sorts of fun things with that. But P90X, it was 6 days a week of working out. One of those days was core, you're following a video on your TV, and it was like the inklings of CrossFit.
Okay.
You're doing pull-ups, you're doing push-ups, you're doing a lot of body weight stuff, and then in some of the videos, you would do plyometrics, so it was jumping around, and they had everything was scaled, it was great, and I got about you're supposed to do it for 90 days, that's what the whole 90 part is, and the X is extreme, um, and I think I made it to about the halfway point,
Mm,
and my body said, "You ain't doing it right, sister." And this was in my probably, I'm gonna say probably early 30s at this point,
mm,
right? So I was done playing college sports at 25, and I took a 2-year break, so 27, 28, somewhere in there.
mm,
So late 20s, early 30s, and my body was just like, "Nope, this isn't the thing for you."
mm.
Is that what you're finding with your clients? They've tried stuff, and it was just like, "No, this isn't right for me."
Yeah, definitely. They realize that they can't train in the same way they did in their 20s or maybe early 30s. They usually come to me with some chronic injuries as well. So then, you mentioned the everything or nothing. So that's what happens there. So either they go hard out because they don't know what else to do. And you mentioned I
Mhm.
get fair amount of people from CrossFit as well that are really broken. And
Yes.
and so there is that kind of everything or nothing, or I call it the boom and bust, or like that 6-week cycle. They go hard out in the CrossFit classes or with their training, they get injury or their old injury flares up. Then they have to stop, get rehab. Usually takes between, if it's not too bad, 3 weeks. If it's bad, kind of 4 to 6 weeks. And then they start again. So there's that constant injury recovery, hard work, injury recovery, hard work. And they sometimes went in that cycle for years. So it
Mhm.
varies. Sometimes it takes a surgery. Like I've had a few clients come to me kind of post hysterectomies or post other surgery. So they realize that physically they just can't go back to running 100 miles a week, just because. Yeah, there was a client, my client Suzanne, who was running 160 kilometers, 100 and yeah, just about 150 kilometers, which is about almost 100 miles a week. Yeah.
No!
And her coach didn't believe in mobility and stretching. Love it.
Oh,
Love it.
no.
So you can imagine her body at 150s. It was not pretty. So yeah, so it kind of varies, but usually women kind of realizing they instinctively, intuitively know, I just can't do this anymore. Or they just get bored sometimes by the CrossFit or the hardcore culture because as perimenopause and menopause hits, you don't
Mhm.
feel like going hard out all the time. There are some days where the symptoms of perimenopause and menopause are so many, but a lot of them are low energy, kind of low mojo, feeling a bit blue, a little bit depressed, achy. All these
Mhm.
things suddenly start popping up. So even if they didn't destroy their bodies through the actual training, the perimenopause, menopause arrives. And usually these women suffer quite significantly because they have been training so hard with complete disregard of their monthly hormonal cycles. There was no tapering of, training in their luteal phase. There was kind of like, no, it was always, regardless of what their bodies were whispering or asking or telling them to do, there was always that, no, 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 we're training, we're doing it all. And if you don't, you're a slacker and you're lazy, and that's just not okay. So there is that
Yep.
whole, because it's surprising how few coaches actually understand how to train women, you know, and our unique
Yes.
bodies, our unique physiology, our unique hormonal cycle that runs on a monthly basis. I mean, do you remember any coaches you've had in your sporting career who had you on a monthly schedule, monthly training schedule? I never.
I had one.
You had one. Amazing. That's
I had one.
rarity though. Normally you will
Yep.
run Monday to Sunday, or you would run on
Mhm.
12-week cycles, right? Training cycles generally. Yeah.
Yep.
Very few
Yep.
just will design a monthly cycle with that, power phase, the first kind of 21 days, and then tapering phase for the following
Mhm.
weeks. So that's you are lucky. That's a rarity. That is an absolute rarity. I have
It is.
not heard of it.
It is.
Yeah.
So, Monique Duran's podcast, we talked about somatics on her podcast. And one of the things she said that it stuck with me is that most athletes are told what to do and they never start to think about what they're supposed to do. And I think this is one of the things that we're butting up against. It's almost like you have to have a certification in understanding nutrition, a certification in understanding the body and how you're supposed to move the body, and a certification in being a woman in order to combine all of those things and really fully understand how to use this body as an athlete, especially as you're getting older.
Right.
Her comment, though, just struck me because I was like, "Oh, yeah, I remember walking away from sports and not having a darn clue how to work out anymore. Walking away from someone telling me on a daily basis, 'This is what you're gonna do, this is what you're gonna do.' And then me going, 'You know what? I'm gonna hire coaches to do that same thing.'" And those coaches, again, put you into, "Here's your schedule, here's what you're gonna do." And you just stick to it because that's what you know, that's the world you came from, that's what you were indoctrinated into as a kid,
Yep.
right? How often are you seeing people coming to you really have no clue what their body needs versus what they've been doing?
I would say that's probably 95% of all the women that come to me. Yeah. They,
That's unreal.
they have a very limiting kind of knowledge of what exercise can look like. They
Mhm,
get blown away by like mobility training. Like they realize, oh my gosh, I can do these really simple, really basic movements every single day for 10 minutes. And the hip pain that's been in my body for the last 3 years is gone
mhm,
in 4 weeks. I have these story after story after story of people of women with really chronic injuries, like screaming pains in their hips, in their knees, in their Achilles tendons, in their I get a lot of surfers as well because just attract surfers into my world,
mhm.
busted shoulder ligaments and they suddenly I show them how to do mobility and they're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Because a lot of people associate pains and aches with age, which is
Mhm.
bizarre because that actually has
It's
nothing,
totally normal.
like, oh, well, I'm just getting older. Mm,
Mhm,
I would beg to differ. I would, it's mobility. And I show women how to exercise with functional tools because these are women who are high achieving, they have families, they usually have really good jobs, and they've been kind of really achieving at a high level in their lives in all different aspects. And so I show them how to exercise with like the steel mace, and the workouts only take 10, 20 minutes, and their mind is blown because they have always been training for hours or 2 training sessions a week to kind of achieve their goals. And now suddenly they kind of like, wow, so I can be fit and strong and mobile, and all I have to do is 20 minutes a day. Is that it? Like they almost can't believe it. It's like, really?
mhm.
Is that all? And they get, it's just a transition. It's not like they have to give up. Well, they do have to kind of give up something because that is really no longer working. But it's, you can transition to something that is equally fun and it's equally challenging and it brings you joy and really good results.
Okay, so one of the things that attracted me to you and what you do was what I saw on your website, which Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. So steel mace,
The Amore.
and you also do what's the other one called?
Club Bell.
The club bells.
Well,
Yes. Okay. So I started using some of these tools just a couple of years ago because it became kind of a fad, the Wex ball. Are you familiar with
the what?
that brand?
No.
So it looks like it's a bowling ball on the end of a bat, essentially. And they come in different weights,
Mm,
and it's club bells, but it's shaped just kind of different. And some of the people that I follow in the softball world started using those as tools to help their athletes,
mm,
particularly with shoulder mobility,
yeah.
right? Shoulder, not just mobility, but strength. As you learn the movement and progress through it, you actually start to get stronger as well as have that fluid mobility. And that's the thing,
Mm,
fluidity.
mm.
Do you find that when you use the mace and it becomes more of a dance, it becomes more of a fluid motion and movement, which is more feminine?
You hit the nail right on the head. Yes. So there's different types of training with the steel mace. You can just go into like an interval training session and do like 5 separate movements and use it as weights. So you can do that too. And I do that too with people for kind of cardiovascular and metabolic conditioning. And that's quite fun too. But what you're referring to is the mace flows. That
Mhm.
is basically a mashup, a really potent mashup of yoga, dance, strength training, martial art. It has definitely a component of martial art because a lot of the movements are quite offensive, down
Mhm.
to kill. I mean, it was a weapon. It was definitely a weapon. And
Mhm.
yeah, women definitely, me personally, and other women respond to it because it is very feminine. Saying that, I coach quite a few men as well, and they really love it too because it is a very time efficient way to exercise. Within 10 minutes, you can fit in, like sometimes I will have 10 different movements in one flow. Maybe it takes a couple of minutes to do the flow on each side. And so you suddenly realize that you can get phenomenally strong just doing 10, 15 minutes of flows every single day, especially when you start doing this single handed work with the mace, which is what you saw on my website, where you can kind of swing it around your body just with one. So it's
Mm.
a very time efficient, potent, punchy workout that you can do anywhere: beach, your garden, your garage. You know, you can take it on holidays. I put it usually at the back of my car, just, take it with me on holidays. It's a very portable, very efficient tool. And I think most women don't really want to go to the gym and do the back chest, tris and bis split. That never made
Yep, the
sense to
splits.
me. That never made sense to me as a surfer and if I need to go and dig over my garden, it's not back and chest. It's the whole thing. So I never understood that, although I've got an 18-year-old son who is very much into his gym split with his row.
Mhm.
So that's cool. But they never really made too much sense to me. The maze makes a lot of sense to me because of the complexity of the movements you can create with the maze, which you will never be able to replicate with a barbell or a dumbbell. It's the fluidity. It's taking the joint under load through a whole range of motion in many, many directions. So it not only
Mhm.
creates strong muscles, but it creates incredibly strong joints and connective tissue, which is where usually the injuries will happen in the ligaments, the tendons, and the joints. But you can build yourself literally joints of steel with with the mace.
All right, so I wanna clarify for the audience here.
Mm.
When I picture in my mind a medieval mace has a bunch of spikes on it.
Yeah.
These mace, it doesn't have any spikes, and they come in different weights,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's like a meter long steel stick with a ball at the end of it of various weights. Yeah.
The bar itself, does it change weight as well, or is it only the mace ball that changes weights?
Only the mace ball, yeah. The bar is hollow, Obviously, it gets a bit thicker, and I've handled lots of different maces. I mean, you can get maces that are made of wood. Traditionally, they were made from wood, obviously, thousands of years ago.
Mhm.
Different types of wood. They were very long as well. You can see a lot of videos of Indian men swinging steel maces and club bells around, but they were a different shape. Now we can make them out of steel, but yeah, it's the ball that essentially changes weight. So then you get that traction because the ball you're swinging the mace, the ball is the end. So it gives your body a phenomenal, like a core workout, because you're going to have to handle the physical forces you are creating.
Yes, yes. A lot of centripetal force is what I'm thinking.
Well,
Hmm. Okay. All right. So a 10 to 20-minute workout, and this is cardiovascular, it's mobility, it is strength training.
mm.
Is there anything else?
Yeah. So what I really like that you do the movements kind of on both sides as well in very kind of complex directions. So it's fantastic for leveling the strength in both sides of the body.
Mm,
So often when
mhm.
you're doing double-handed work, and you do that with the mace as well, sometimes one arm is compensating for the other, or it's the same with legs. But you put mace in one hand and you're swinging it around your body, or you are doing different movements, and then you put it in your left and you realize, oh wow, my left hand is so much weaker. My left leg is a lot weaker. So it kind of allows you to correct imbalances in the body as well, which is what I really like. And it's phenomenal for the brain because imagine you're doing a flow of 10 different movements and you're doing it on both sides. You're going to remember, where to go, how to coordinate the body. Sometimes the mace is in both of your hands, sometimes it's in one hand. And that's what I love about it, is that you have to completely empty your mind of any incessant thoughts and clutter. And I coach a lot of people that are neurodivergent or have mental health challenges, OCD, and they love the maze because if you don't pay 100% attention to what you're doing with the maze, it goes terribly wrong, right? 'Cause
Yes, you could hurt yourself,
you could
couldn't you?
really hurt yourself, and you need to think like, right, I'm going to go through a squat, then I'm going to do an overhead press, then I'm going to move into this movement, this movement. So it is incredibly nourishing for the brain because it allows you to switch everything off and really tune in into your body and to feel the whispers, to listen to the whispers of the body. It's like, hey, my right shoulder's a bit tight. Oh, I'm not really, the lunch doesn't feel that good on the left. And so it's a lovely way to reconnect with the body. So in the time where we're all living in our heads and are bombarded by thoughts and social media and people and deadlines and work, this is the space of 10 to 20 minutes where you chuck all of it out. You have to chuck all of it out and just focus on movement and breath and your body and you being with yourself. And that is what a lot of my clients really appreciate about this team-based training too.
I love that. It's got that meditative moving meditation,
Mm,
which there's so many misconceptions around what moving meditation actually is, and I'm like, well, yoga, obviously.
mm,
You can turn walking into a moving meditation if you know how to drop into that space, but that's tough. Usually when we go for a walk, our brain is cluttered
yeah,
and it needs to get uncluttered, but this, you've got a weapon in your hand.
yeah.
Literally, you could injure yourself.
Up-
And immediately I'm thinking like, yeah, my softball players would definitely get this right away because
mm,
they have a weapon in their hand when they have a bat in their hand.
mm.
It's just a matter of how they use it, right? Are they conscious that they could injure themselves or others with that particular device? Okay, you mentioned the cycles of all of this. Do you strictly use these tools when working out and teaching others how to work out, or do you use any other tools besides mace?
The steel mace is my favorite because I
Okay.
think it's the most badass, to be honest. It's the most versatile and potent. But I do have some clients who prefer the club bell. I also coach quite a bit of kettlebells too for people. Some people just have different preferences. I would say that most of my clients really love the steel mace, and most of my online community really loves the steel mace because it's so unique. There's also our kind of search to be different, right? I
Mhm.
kind of think
Oh, yeah.
lifting barbells in the gym, yeah, people have been doing it for a long time, but you swing a
Yes.
mace on the beach, they kind of, it's a bit edgy, it's a bit badass, it's a bit more warrior, and it is essentially wired
Mhm.
into our DNA because humans have been strapping boulders to sticks thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So somehow we have figured out that that is a really efficient weapon. And, you put it into someone's hands and they get that look. It's suddenly, they become warriors, women,
Mhm.
actually, and it builds confidence. But, saying that, I still love the club bell. I still do plenty of work with the club. I do love kettlebells. They were my first kind of functional tool love, my first crush. So yeah, there are just certain things that are better done with the certain tools. If you want a bit more brutal strength, then
Mhm.
kettlebells are definitely a really quick way to get there. A lot of people have kettlebells at home too, so they're quite versatile. The club bell is a little bit harder to get by, especially a really good high quality club bells, probably a little bit easier where you are, not in New Zealand. But the steel mace is kind of readily available and it's fun.
It is. I love that you're teaching women how to be fierce feminine warriors. That is something that has truly dropped out of society. Women are meant to be the home caretaker and the emotional support and all of those feminine qualities that we innately have, but men also do too. But then when it comes to working out, right? Women will go, "Oh, well, I should go to a group dance class or
Well,
Zumba, or I should do yoga because those are feminine workouts."
mm,
And to one, the need for more women to be lifting weights and putting themselves under load for osteoporosis, I really truly can't stress that one enough. That's one of the biggest issues that women have as they age is osteopenia, osteoporosis. Those two, So, you teaching women how to use weight and really wield weight
mm,
as fierce feminine warriors. Thank you for that.
thank you.
Let's go back to talking about the cycle because this is interesting. I'm in perimenopause and I'm still powerlifting and I love it. But I also feel myself being drawn to other modalities, other things that really excite me. And it's not because I'm bored yet. When we get into perimenopause, our cycles start to shift pretty drastically. And you mentioned a ton of symptoms. One of the ones that you didn't mention was sleep. Our sleep gets unbelievably disturbed. And as a recovery tool for life, but also for athletes, that's a big knob to turn.
Yeah.
How do you help these women when it comes to understanding what they need for their athletic endeavors, their physical endeavors, their release? I know for me, working out is a release.
Yeah.
How do you help them navigate this when their bodies are going, "You can't right now?"
Mm. So what I teach women is that it's not about the workout, it's about the intensity. You can take any workout that you have designed, whatever you do, whether you're a runner, a power lifter, a CrossFitter, whether you just do a little bit of mace training in your own home. You need to be thinking in terms of intensity rather than what are you doing. Because regardless of how you feel, even if you haven't slept at all, you can still move your body because you know that that will make you feel better, right? It makes
Mhm.
even lying on the bed feeling sorry for yourself, it's never going to be that great. So you can always move. You just have to move in the right way, the right intensity. So let's say that you had a big powerlifting workout scheduled, but you didn't sleep. So you know
Mhm.
you can't go for that hardcore powerlifting workout if you haven't recovered and you haven't reset your body, rejuvenated, repaired any damage. You just can't, right? And that's what a lot of people don't understand because they still push sometimes through that. And that's a mistake.
Yep.
And injuries happens. I mean, if you going for a hardcore workout and you haven't slept, you haven't recovered and haven't slept well, you just can't.
Mhm.
Injuries and poor recovery and all sorts. So I teach women to have basically a menu of different types of exercises and workouts. So the super gentle mobility, regardless of how crappy you feel, you can still do 10 minutes of mobility when you first wake up. It will make you feel good. You still tracking
Mhm.
towards moving well, moving pain free, and just doing something. If you're feeling kind of okay, then maybe you might just do 10 minutes of mace flows or mobility flows. Maybe that is okay. And so it's about knowing how to let go of the scheduled workout and adjust it to suit where your body is at on that particular given day. So you woke up, maybe you are under stress at work, you had a fight with your husband, your teenager is being difficult, you haven't slept very well, and you've just realized you've put on 3 kilos. Well, you have to take all of that into account. All of these are stresses. Our nervous system doesn't recognize good stress, bad stress. It's just all layers and layers of stress. So if you have that kind of day that I've just kind of fantasized about, or not really, I don't want to have a day like that, then your exercise will become just another massive layer of stress on top of it all. So you need to pitch that intensity just right. So the exercise helps you, make you feel good. You're still kind of tracking and maintaining your progress, but it doesn't kind of push you into that overstress from which is really hard to recover. You get sick and injured and miserable.
Yeah. The misery continues, essentially.
Well,
Thank you for that. That was yes, I like that. Have a menu.
have a
Yeah.
menu. Have a menu of mobility, walk, gentle mace flow, gruntier mace flow. I mean, you can even do a interval. So I coach a system called TechFit, and those are the timers I use. It's a 20-minute strength training session, and you can pitch it at any intensity. You can just go through the 20 minutes. You can just halve it to 10. So you can pretty much adjust any workout you have scheduled to suit your stress levels. And, not having a good sleep is a massive stress on the body, mentally and
Mm.
physically, emotionally too. I become a crying wreck when I don't have enough sleep.
Ah,
That's
I become goofy. I have noticed I have become goofier. I just went to New York City this last weekend and got very little sleep. And the farther we went into the lack of sleep, the more I just got goofier and goofier. So,
awesome.
like, maybe that's where I need to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yana, thank you so unbelievably much for sharing your knowledge, your experience, and your fierce feminine warrior workouts. Ah,
Oh,
I'm excited to try some
yeah.
because I have fallen in love with mace and with the bells.
Well,
They are so much fun. Kettlebell and the other one that I still, at the end of the episode, I'm forgetting the name of it. And I'm like, okay, looking through my notes.
the club
And you're going to
bell,
remind me the club bells.
the clubhouse, which is
Why that word has
and
escaped me today?
it's a metal baseball stick. It's a metal baseball stick.
Exactly,
Match. That's what it is.
exactly.
Maybe that's what your brain is kind of associating with baseball stick, right? Yeah.
Exactly, it's a bat and it's weighted and it's made out of different materials, but yeah, it looks like a bat. Yep, yeah. Oh, alright, Yana, people can find you at yana-barrett.com.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere else they can find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and I also have a YouTube channel. I've just started it, and that's where you can access a lot of steel mace workouts. So I'm starting from the beginning too, because you can see a lot of very accomplished people out on the internet, but very few people are doing the basics, like how to hold the mace, how to switch it and how to start with it safely, because obviously you don't want to start with a 10 movement mace flow. Start with
No.
your movement mace flow. So yeah, find me on YouTube, Jana Movement Coach, and you can access some free workouts. But I have a Facebook group too where I do coaching. I'm going to coach there today, actually, some core movements. So that's where you can
Ooh,
access my coaching and some free training in there too.
excellent. Excellent. And I see a free 6-day mobility challenge. When is that?
Yeah, so that's an evergreen challenge you can just download for free off my website. Yeah, it's got 6 days, 10-minute videos. So if you've got any tension or aches and pains, or you just want to feel better and move better and without pain for as long as you live, then that's a really good start to it. There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, that's the goals. Constantly thinking for me, what are the things that I can do the rest of my life? And now I'm seeing like 90-year-old women doing powerlifting. And I'm like, oh, well, there you go. I can still do powerlifting into my 90s as long as my nervous system wants to do it,
Yeah.
as long as it still nourishes me on all the levels.
Yeah. Amazing.
Jana, thank you again so much for being on Spirit of an Athlete with me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun. What a great conversation.
Thanks for listening to Spirit of an Athlete podcast. If you're struggling with your own gut issues and want more direction, you can get an initial body scan from Amanda at bodywhisperhealing.com. In 20 minutes, you can find out what's wrong, get clarity, map the path forward, and get on track to get back in your game. If this episode hits the spot, please let us know by rating, reviewing, and sharing it with a friend. Subscribe now to hear more inspiring stories from other female college athletes who overcame their health issues. Want more, Amanda? Get inspired by finding more at bodywhisperhealing.com.